So I seem to have solved my elbow tendonitis with a combination of changes and a weird little contraption that I bought online. I thought I would just show you. So basically I had tennis elbow over here. Anytime that I did elbow flexion or extension, I pretty much had pain. So it was affecting a lot of my bicep work, tricep work. It was starting to affect my bench press. It was starting to affect my rows quite badly, and it was really driving me nuts. I tried to take a couple of days off just to let it heal, but it didn't. I tried doing some stretching and some grip work, and it didn't help. And then what actually seems to have helped, that I had no pain whatsoever today and I haven't had in a few days, is firstly I dropped the weight. I think I was lifting too heavy on bicep curls and on tricep, different tricep exercises. I tried maneuvering different angles. It was still giving me problems. So I wound up getting a bit frustrated. I prefer working with dumbbells and barbells, free weights instead of machines, but actually once I dropped the weight and started working with cables, it started to improve. But what really made the biggest difference is the grip that I used. So normally, for example, I noticed that if I was using a supinated grip on dumbbell curls, it would give me pain. When I was working my brachialis and I used a neutral grip, then it didn't give me pain. And then I was watching somebody else work out, and he attached like an ankle strap. I don't know what you would call it. Basically an ankle strap that the ladies use for their legs, for hamstrings and that. And he was using it on a cable machine, and he's a hell of a strong looking guy. And I figured I would give it a try, and it actually did help. Now, I didn't have one of those. What I ended up buying, because I wanted to add something for triceps, which a lot of the gyms I go to don't have, is this thing over here. It's basically, I guess, like a tricep rope, but it's got these little gaps in it. I'll find out what it's called and do another video on it. Anyway, what I found is I can put my wrist through it, either like that, or like that, or like that, or like that. And I guess it put my hands into a neutral grip, and it took the grip work out of it. Now I'm really not articulating this well, and I'm going to put that down to a lack of knowledge that I need to improve on. But the bottom line is that I seem to, between the lower weight, higher reps, and using this contraption, I have completely gotten rid of my elbow tendonitis. And it was really painful. I mean, it was hurting me even when I wasn't at gym, and this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I will do another video when I understand the biomechanics of it a little bit better. But since a lot of people out there probably do suffer with tennis elbow and other forms of tendonitis, it might be worth looking at. It wasn't really that expensive. I wouldn't suggest go spend money for nothing. You know what I mean? You can actually get good hypertrophy anywhere between 5 and 30 reps. So the only downside I would say is that I'm assuming that it will affect my grip over time. And I did notice that once I hit my deadlift, close to my deadlift max at 120 kilos the other days, my grip did give out, and I had to switch to an alternate grip. And I don't know if that's because I was just weak on that day, because that can happen. I'm not at my strongest every single day. I don't hit a personal best every single time I do an exercise. So it might just have been that, but it is possible that maybe my grip's a little bit weaker from working out with my little tricep bicep rope thing here. Anyway, food for thought. Have you used something similar? How did it affect your tendonitis? Let me know.